Okay, let's get started. Whew. Wonderful morning time and eat coffee. Alright. Let's get this logo up and get started with this live stream. Should be about half an hour this morning. We're going to be doing some more post-production editing today of Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles, one of the opening battle scenes in Season 2. And we're going to be working on muzzle flashes today. So, starting with the special effects, I'm getting them into a lot of these figures, like you see Zedian guards here. We're going to play with some muzzle flashes with the Zedian guards. And then we're going to hop over to the Omnicron snipers and give them a muzzle flash as well and play with that a little bit. So that is what we are going to be doing today. And if you have just come in on this thinking, what the heck is this guy doing with these figures? Well, this is a live stream for a show on YouTube called Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles. And there is Season 1 on there. You can go ahead and just go on YouTube, type in the search bar Tales of Valhalla, and you should find it, or I can supply you with the link right away in the chat room. So let me do that. Just give me a moment. Here. Copy. And just pasting. Booyah, there's the link. So, if you want to check that out, we got Season 1, and this is basically a stop-motion show based off the board game Heroscape. And a lot of battle scenes, a lot of storylines created in the world that the game was created from, Valhalla. And currently in production of Seasons 2 and 3. But there's plenty of content on the YouTube page if you want to go and take a look, by all means. And here, I just need to check something. Alright. Just so we can get started here. Oh, by the way. Name's Ryan. Like I said, this time in the morning, I'm usually doing this stuff in the evening time, not the morning time. I meant to do this last night, and I just felt too tired. The week has been kind of tough for me. A lot of transitional things happening lately. Alright. So, let's take a look at these Zedian guards, shall we? Now, I've already added on, as you can see on the bottom part of the screen, some muzzle flashes already. And we're going to be adding more on to the other ones up top here as well. And kind of give you an idea of how that's going to be done. So this is kind of like, okay, showing post-production, but also kind of a simple tutorial, even though you can go on Hitfilm, because what I'm using is Hitfilm Express, and Hitfilm has all kinds of tutorials on YouTube in which you can look up on how to do these particular things, and even the muzzle flashes are from stuff you can download on Hitfilm. But let me get started by adding another point layer. Rename that point layer to ZB That'll be important in a second. to create a tracking for this particular Zedian guard. So I'm going to rename this to Tracker 3. And we're going to have this ready. So we are going to go back a little bit into the tracking point because you see how like these bottom two Zedian guards, this is when they open. Well, there's a certain point when they open fire. If you go to the viewer, you see that's when they open fire. So for this particular Zedian guard right here, I think I might do him just a little bit earlier because he is already kind of up there. So I think I'll have him start like right at this point. So what I'm going to do here in the layer option, excuse me, right now it's kind of blurry. Excuse me again. I'm going to add, oh, I also need to add the Gunfire effect as well. So we're going to copy this one and paste and just put that there and rename it Gunfire Effect 3. And have it start roughly around there. But what we're doing is going back to this tracking point. Okay. So now for all one of you watching, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask about what's going on here. You're welcome to while I'm just doing this. So, for tracking on Hitfilm, make sure the track is going to be following this along. I'm going to bump this up to 40. 35. And keep an eye on it. Actually, I'm going to bump this up a little bit. There, bump it up to that head point. And that should be good. So we have this tracking point. And we're going to attach that tracking point to this point layer, ZB3. And for anybody who's hopping onto this live stream, by all means ask questions about what is going on here. Because this is basically post-production for a stop-motion YouTube show called Tales of Valhalla. And it's stop-motion of Heroscape or miniature wargaming figures. And I'm currently adding some gunfire special effects to the Zedian guards here for a battle scene involving literally hundreds of miniatures. So let's apply that to that tracking point. And then going to add, so what I did is I attached this tracking point to the gunfire effect we just made for this Zedian guard. And we're going to go back to the viewer. And let's take a look, see where we are at here. Alright, So that's where that gunfire effect is right now. It's following this, but we need to bump it up to where that figure actually is to have it follow along better. So to do that, I need to find it. There it is. And we just need to move it up like so. This Zetting guard has a little bit of initiative, I see. Alright, we're gonna, oops, yeah, we can do that. But we need to actually angle this up just a little bit. And move it a little bit forward. Now, I'm probably later, because you can see right now, the image, the Zetting guard image is kind of blurred. And this gunfire effect is not blurry. It's showing up as clear at this moment. So later on, when it comes to tweaking, I'm gonna have to add some little bit of blur, at least at this moment, because later on it gets clearer, and then boom, then it's clear. Let's see here, that looks still kind of off kilter. Let's take a look. Yeah. Almost there. Almost there. It's not that bad. You can see how it, like, normal gunfire effect is actually very red. Yeah, I just want to show you. Right, stop. Okay, good. You can see right here, the normal gunfire effect that I originally had was red and kind of bright, and I kind of, for the Zetting guards, since Zetting guards are bad guys and they're machine bad guys, I kind of made this a little bit dirty and dark, and just a little bit of yellow there, just to show that gunfire effect, just to show that these machines might not be kept up very well. You know, they're and so the Gaiden gun is probably kind of dirty, and so what comes out is kind of dirty, if not all that accurate. And just to give these guys more of a grungy feel. So I'm going to... This needs to be altered just a little bit. I have to get really close. There. Now let me see how that is. That still needs, well, I think it looks okay. Let me bring it up. Just see how it looks. Now, we're already 17 minutes into this live stream. Wow, how time passes. So, I'm not going to be able to do this whole row. Just going to be that Zetting guard, but let me show you what the final result looks like. So, still needs some tweaking, of course. And this isn't the only shot that Zetting guards need this, but as you can see, oh, and one more thing, you can see there's a little bit of flashing going on here to kind of make it look like these muzzle flashes are present in this scene, but you don't see that for this one. That's because I need to move it over there. So let's do that. looking for is effects and the light flare. And we just need to move this light flare. See, this light flare is right now at its feet. So we need to... Whoop. We need to move that light flare up to around its arm and shoulders, kind of narrow it just a little bit, and make that point look right there. Just expand it just a little bit more, and have it be more on its arm. Alright, so that should do that. Give a little reflection on this figure. There you go. You see. Now there's reflection there. Now they're firing up at the turrets in the castle. The figures, so that's that, and I will continue later, and I'll complete this later to where I'll be adding more muzzle flashes to these guys, and then end up tweaking them, just making them look a little bit different than the others in the future, and there's ways to do that. But like I said, you can go to Hitfilm, look up the muzzle flash tutorial, and you'll be able to learn how to apply these as well to whatever videos you could be making. So now let's go to a different shot. Here, let's just see this one more time. So they come up, and they're just firing away. Well, now we're gonna go to a different shot. Now this is, let's see this shot here. Now we have in this shot a piece of castle and pieces of like the castle wall that have been exploded from earlier by Mimring. And you can see some enemy forces starting to advance along this portion of wall, and these guys are just trapped there, doing their best to defend themselves. And so now we need to add some muzzle flashes to these Omnicron snipers. Now they're Stolbergs as well, but the good guys. And so we're gonna make their muzzle flash just a bit cleaner, a bit more heroic, and not as dirty as what the Zedian guards were. And this is the first time I'm actually tweaking with this muzzle flash, so let's just see what we can do and make this work. And I'll have to add like some type of flare reflection later. Right now we're just working primarily just on the muzzle flash. And we have a whole bunch of effects that I've already added on. Demult, exposure, hue, saturation, lightness, heat distortion, and zoom blur. Now zoom blur should already be working for that. And we actually need to take this muzzle flash right where the Omnicron sniper is moving. So I'm going to take it right here. And let's see. Right when he kind of moves. Now, that looks a little too big right now, so we're going to shrink this even more. Kind of angle it a bit differently. Like so. Trying to go 3D on this thing. Alright, now let's just move it right where the barrel is. Actually, I'm going to keep that flat. So let's go back to this. Actually, I'm just going to un-3D it. Just give it a 2D plane. And see if that will be any better. Yeah, just from here. And we can just boom. Oh yeah, that's better. Alright. So saturation lightness. And now it's the heat distortion that you kind of fun. So as you can see, we can move it up, move it down. And it should change a little bit. See how it's changing. So we can make this guy's gun a little bit different than the other Omnicrom sniper's guns. Ooh, that's fuzzy. We don't want it fuzzy. Let's take that back to 0. Alright, I need that to be clear. This is diffusion. That's distortion. So I don't think I want to mess with that either. But definitely this. I'm just going to have this way up 200. Why not? 200. Alright. Now, should that be smaller? Possibly. So it's smaller. Good for that. I'm just gonna set it just a little bit more. Boom. I like it. Now, one thing I'm gonna do, because our half hour is almost up already. It's amazing how time flies when you're adding special effects. Alright, now I want to make this unique to the Omnicrom snipers. So since these guys are good guys, they're clean, they just looks like basically Iron Man suits of armor. Even though they're Solbergs, they're very loyal and good. I am going to try and let's see here. I'm going to take this and see if I can look at the controls up here. Get a better idea. And just see if I can add a little bit of color to this, because see, like that. Like make it a little bit more bright maybe. Add still a little bit of red in there. But make it less so. Actually, I'm just gonna put that as 20. Yeah. So, in contrast, when you have, like here, let me say this, you have the Zedian guards that are very, their flat muzzle flash is very dirty and grungy. You have the Omnicron snipers who are firing back at them, where it's just one-shot firing for them. But more accurate. Theirs is cleaner, a bit brighter, just reflecting on the good that they represent. So yeah, that looks good. Let me see if I need to tweak anything else here. I might do a little bit more tweaking later on, but sometimes the simplest the simplest adjustment is usually the best. It's best not to go way too into it. Otherwise you might end up creating a monster. But let me just see. Let's see here. What did this do? Yeah, make this very red. Let me see now. There's blue. I wonder what would happen if I added blue to this, if it would... Sometimes it's very dangerous to add blue to something that's already a blue background, but I just want to see if there can just be a bit of blue here at all. I don't notice much of a difference. But since they're kind of uniform blue, it's a reflection of them. Let me just see what happens when I do that. Not really anything. So that's alright. We tried. At least we can say we tried. So let's take a look at these shots and see what they look like. Alright. Alright, so I said before. I'm just gonna put a shot here. Why is that there? That's weird. I'll talk about that later. But we have a shot advancing. Boom. See, there it is. We just need just that little bit of fire. There. You can see it on the upper corner. And so what I'll do, excuse me, later on is just add all, like this type of simple gunfire flash to all these guys, to all these Omnicron snipers, and just make it look like they're trying to pelt these guys below. So let's go back to the editor. And I'm going to show you this sequence. So boom, there it is. Here's where the Omnicron sniper is firing. That little muzzle flash we just created. And as you can see, there's lots of muzzle flashes that need to be created for this particular scene. Here is the muzzle flashes of the Zedian guards. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done adding special effects to this battle scene, and it's not the only battle scene I need to add muzzle flashes to. So, but next time, I know this week I'm going to be really, really busy, so there probably is not going to be a live stream this week. But next week, when we come back on, hopefully I'll be able to show you a more completed version of what the shots look like and move on to other special effects in these opening battle scenes in episode 1 of season 2 in Tales of Valhalla. And I'm Ryan, and like I said, you can go to Tales of Valhalla on YouTube. Just type in the search bar, Tales of Valhalla, and feel free to subscribe and support by your subscription what we are doing for this show. And on the YouTube page, we got season 1 as well as other wonderful behind the scenes and stop motion content on there. So go ahead and take a look, and thank you all for watching, and we're going to call this live stream done for today. Talk to you all later.